Really pleased to be introducing you to Angelina, our activator for this next session. And their focus is embedding circular design methods into business. So Angelina is an independent innovation consultant and design strategist with extensive experience in creating new products and services. She has held senior positions in not-for-profit, government and university sectors. Angelina is an expert in client engagement and partnership development, has a strong background in innovation and entrepreneurship, particularly in creative industries. She has a proven track record in project management, delivering projects on time and within budget while fostering team growth. Angelina achieved full professor in 2013.
I did.
And holds a PhD, an MBA and a B design. Wow.
Hopefully.
She runs an artisan knitwear business on the Fleurieu Peninsula and advocates for circular design in fashion and textiles. Before I do hand over, I will just say that we're using a microphone because we are, this is also being streamed online and we do have online people. So if you do have any questions or comments that you want to make throughout the day, just put your hand up and we'll be running around with a microphone. But otherwise, I will hand over to Angelina.
Thank you so much, Amy. Thank you very much. So today's workshop is Circular Ventures Design Workshop. I wanted to just add something that was quite interesting to me. I sent off that bio, I don't know, a long while ago, and I thought about how do you actually tell the story now in this context. And the work that I've been doing over the last year in particular has been taking up a textile practice that I had for many years and really looking at how to make it into a social enterprise, and that's Fleurieu Made. And so this workshop is one of the workshops that I'm delivering as part of that suite of workshops. And it's actually designed by the Ellen MacArthur Foundation and IDEO. So Ellen MacArthur Foundation and IDEO came together to create the Circular Design Guide in 2023. And I think what's really interesting about that is that Ellen MacArthur Foundation has been a real advocate for circular economies and particularly for circular textiles. And IDEO, for any of you who've ever had anything to do with design, has been at the forefront of design innovation, particularly in practices. They were the leaders in design thinking, in UX, in user I've forgotten what it's called, in UX design for years and years and years. And so these guys came together, made this workshop that they then make available to anyone to be able to deliver. And so today's workshop is a kind of a cut down version of that workshop, one of those workshops. We're going to go through 4 particular things, and it's going to be quite fast, and I'm going to ask you to come together into groups, and I'm going to ask you right from the very beginning, because we've only got 55 minutes for it, to, let me just count, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, divided by 4 is 3, so into 3 groups. If you can organise yourselves into 3 groups before we start, and we will need a table, and you'll need a group where you're from different places, so not with people who you work with or people who you necessarily, more than people who you work with. So if I can ask you to very quickly do that, then we'll get started, if that's okay. And it doesn't matter, you can stay where you are, so long as you've got, introduce yourselves and have 4 people. 4 people. All right. Alrighty, and as you're doing that, more people coming in. And 3, 4. G'day, how are you? 1, 2. And I'm sorry for those of you online. It's hard to do this interactively online, but we'll work out a way for next time. Okay. And no, you don't. Hello. Yeah, you join them. That would be lovely. Okay. Alrighty. We're all together. Okay. My least favourite thing, furniture everywhere. Okay. All right. So the workshop's in 4 parts. Each of these parts is about 10 minutes. And in the first instance, it is looking at your superpowers. So who you are, what your company is, and what it brings to the table. Does everyone have, speaking of tables, does everyone have something to write with? There we go. So you've got in front of you a very cut-down version of these cards. So these cards are really, we're going to look at what your company or your organisation, your enterprise, who are you? What is it that you do and why do you do it? So very quickly. So this is a way of introducing yourselves to each other and indeed back to us. So I'll ask you to very, very quickly have that discussion, and I'm going to put on this a little bit of background music because it's a bit dark.
Do I need to move?
It's a little bit... Okay. Gosh, everyone's gone so quiet so quickly. Is there a... I should have done that before, shouldn't I? Okay. Maybe I won't do that. I'll just do it from here. Here we go. Okay. All right, your enterprise. Who are you? Gosh, for people who don't know each other, right, okay. So once you've written it, once you've written what your organisation does or what your enterprise or your institution does, if you can actually introduce yourselves to each other via that card. You got it down? Okay, good, good. Okay. Did you want one too, James? You're just going to help? Okay. All right. How are we going? We're introducing ourselves to each other? Good. Your company and your part of it, that you're part of. All righty. All right. Here we go. G'day, how are you? Hi. Would you please join one of the groups there? Maybe the one at the back, actually. Yeah, thank you. There you go. You're going to tell each other what you're doing. No, I was so I did a few years at UniSA. I was in Melbourne and Canberra and Brisbane and Sydney, and then I came back here about 3 years ago. 4 years ago, just before COVID, like literally weeks before COVID. So yeah, I was away for a long, long time. Yeah. And that's where I live now. Yeah.
My teenage years, I was born in Harbour, actually.
Oh, really? Well, yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. It's a beautiful. We were down there the other day. I took the kids down there for Granite Island. You know, on the little tram. And we did the walk around the island, and they're 5 and 3, and they did it. That was good, because that's the thing. They were so excited that might see penguins, you know. Not many anymore. No, I think it's only 20 they say that live on there now. But yeah, no, I've not had any luck getting work in the university system here, and I don't imagine that I will. It's very tightly held. But anyway, that's okay. I'll do other things. I was in it for 23 years or something. But anyway, yeah, that's what it is. I'm actually happy not to be in there now, particularly with the UniSA, Uni of Adelaide. Oh yeah, it'll be the Hunger Games in there now. It'll be horrible. So quite good to be away from there now. I was at RMIT in Melbourne, and then QUT and UQ in Brisbane, University of Canberra, and then I worked. I partnered with University of Sydney on some projects as well through. Yeah, so yeah, did it for a long time. I loved it. Yeah, and creative industries were it was right at the beginning of like the policy change that changed us from creators, out in the backyard to the creative industries, the second largest exporter in the country. But that was a good time to be in it. So, and they do good stuff here with creative industries. I've just the woman who runs it here is magnificent. I love it. In the policy department here. Moved last year. I can't remember where it's gone now. Back to Premier's Academy, I think. But yeah, it's a nice place to be. And so when you're not on the board?
Yeah, so I work for Trees for Life at the moment. So
oh, fantastic.
Until a year ago with Santos. 18 years.
Wow. Key change.
Complete right.
Yeah, right. Wow. Oh gosh, I'm going to have to ask you more about that one. Hold on, I have to keep my timing. From Santos to Trees for Life. Wow, that's a big shift. That is a big shift. Yeah. Oh, I'm coming back to that one. Okie dokie. All right. So we've done the very first thing. Now it's time for us to have a look at what happens next. As I said, we're going to be going through this very quickly because we've only got a short time. All right, now, while you're thinking about your company, I'm just going to hand out these cards here. These are called your asset cards. So these cards you'll find are double-sided. And on one side is it says my assets, on the other it says it's got some questions to ask for you to think about. So thinking about your organisation. And within your organisation, the people who are there, the brand value that you have, the kind of influence that you have. Hello, how are you? Please do join probably that team there, unless you know them, in which case that one. So think about what are your most valuable assets and what are your key capabilities. So this really is about saying what can you kind of put your fingers on today to say we have this. If I was going to share in some way or look at some kind of joint or collaborative venture, these are resources, these are assets that I could actually get hold of and look at how we could work with other people. So whether that's highly skilled employees or brand value, whether it's platforms that you own or data is always a good one to share. So just writing those down for the next few minutes and then sharing that back to your team. So doing that. Hello, how are you, Mike? Come on in. That's okay, please, Joanna. Maybe that team back there. Thank you. Okay. All right. So we'll do that for another 10 minutes. Your assets. No, 5 minutes. Sorry, 5 minutes. Assets, 5 minutes. Okay. All right. Does anyone not know what their assets are? Is everyone okay with the question? Yep. Good. All right. Good. All righty. Now, that's great. All good? Good. Your assets? Excellent. So always thinking about just how deep those assets go as well, in a very positive way. All right. Very quickly. Yep. Okay, I'm going to hand out the ecosystem cards now. Now, does anyone know the difference between an ecosystem and a network? Does anyone know the difference between an ecosystem and a network? It troubled me for a long time, and then someone asked me, and so I had to find out what it was. So,
does a network mean that you know the people?
Yeah.
And an ecosystem means there's other players that you might not know, but there could be some kind of connection?
That's it. It's the connect. Exactly right. So a network is a group of people who are connected in some way. An ecosystem is a group of people who are working towards a similar end. So if you're working towards social enterprise, we become part of an ecosystem. But we might be part of a larger network of entrepreneurs. So that might include commercial entrepreneurs or not-for-profits or corporates. So that's our network, but we're the ecosystem because we are working towards a similar end. Thank you. That's wonderful. All right, so in your ecosystem, so the people in your ecosystem, think about what you do, what or who you influence, and what value chains are a key part of or significantly contribute to that ecosystem. So for instance, this conference is a magnificent example of what an organisation or an enterprise can do to contribute to our ecosystem as people who are interested in and seeking to either establish or to promote social enterprise. This is part of us here. What partnerships, what supplier networks. We've got some fabulous examples outside of supplier networks that are also part of our ecosystem. So if you can do that and put them up on in terms of your organisation on the front page, we'll do that for another few minutes and then we'll go to the next one. Yeah, that's good. It's a cracking pace. Sorry. It's after lunch. Let's go. That's right. That's right. Okay. And the value chains that you're part of are really important as well. Sometimes we don't think about that. What is it that, not only what you influence and who you influence, but what value chains are you part of and how can you actually benefit, who stands to benefit from that value chain? Your supply networks. Okay. Oh, too fast. All right, just a little bit more time on that one. Okay. All right. While you're finishing off your ecosystem, I'm just send out the last cards, which are about your waste. So in your organisation, unfortunately, we all have some streams of waste. Some of them are more highly charged than others, but we all have them. So the questions that you need to ask there around waste are there on the back of the card. And so what are the, sorry, here we go. There you go. So what are the byproducts of your organisation? What's the production waste? So we've had a great example today of how we can minimise waste by actually designing the circularity of food, food manufacturing, distribution, and the end product of the utilities that we use. Really good examples today. But in your organisation, what are the byproducts that you generate? How do you actually deal with end of life? Do you have surplus or unused capability or capacity? Sorry, capacity. Come on in. Do you have production waste? Do you work in an organisation that doesn't have a basic recycling system? What is your waste? Even unused data, or doubling up of data, as often happens in government organisations where there are multiple layers of the same types of data, and so there's a bit of waste in there. Think about that and get those down, and then we will actually slow down after that. And the other part of that one, sorry, I should have also said, is what, in terms of your waste, what do you have also is unused capacity. Unused capacity. So do you waste the talents of younger or older people, for instance? Do you, whereas, yeah, that's a good one always.
Just introspection. Can you do external?
Okay. Right, just a few more minutes, and then what I'm going to ask you to do is if one person from each of the groups can actually introduce their organisation, introduce their assets, their waste and their ecosystem. And that's just one from each because, as I said, it's not a huge amount of time. So we'll just finish that one up. So just choose between yourselves who's going to speak. Okay. All right, 30 more seconds. We'll go with that. Okay, all right, who's ready? Who's ready to introduce from each of the groups? Who's ready to introduce one of your organisations, your assets, your ecosystem and your waste? Who's ready? Okay, Beck, tell us your name as well. Okay, all right. All right. We can have a few more minutes. All right. Okay. Okay. So what's the biggest cultural change? Yeah.
There was method, there was logic.
Okay.
I finished up at Santos in a space where I was in the carbon solutions
Yeah.
business.
Yep.
So you established that business as part of the corporation. Emissions profile over time, sort of growing compliance requirements, projects to address that. So nature-based projects, expansion projects.
Yeah, wow.
So I sort of thought, started focus on challenges of climate change,
Yes.
interest and kind of work.
Yep. It's time. Good on you.
Some time off and then interest what came up with some of the carbon markets, nature markets.
Yeah. Have you had any trouble at all in kind of the trust part of that transition? Yeah. For sure. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
scratching.
Yeah. No. No.
Trust markets, trust business.
I'm hoping that things like the agritourism policy might do something for that. The kind of a greater recognition, perhaps, in Australia of the opportunity to bring kind of regenerative agriculture together with tourism to kind of find that space that respects both of those practices. We'll see. I mean, it works in some parts of the world. We'll see whether it works here. But absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Yep. Yep. That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. 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 Yeah, it can actually, yeah. Which shouldn't be the case because we're all trying to, save the world together. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's it. I'm actually thinking I think we've met. Did we meet in? You part of the Ordinga, what's it called? The eco village there? No, that's not you. Okay, that's okay. All right, now I really do have to ask you to come back now. Okay, can I ask one person from each group to please present back? Okay, here we go. Introduce yourself, please.
Thanks, Angelina. My name is Beck. I'm from Blend Creative. We are a full-service graphic design agency based at Ranella. Our purpose is to bring meaningful employment to people with disability who face barriers to employment and to provide a really, really high, amazing standard of graphic design services to whoever wants to partner with us. What we do is pretty much summed up already, but we are a commercial graphic design agency who employs people with a disability, and then we also train our designers to be graphic designers. So we have that aspect of our social enterprise as well. Our assets include our wonderful, talented design team. So that's one of our main, assets that we try and as our selling point. But also the design services that we offer. So we're a full service agency, like I said before, so part of our suite of services includes websites, branding, marketing, accessible design, illustration, corporate design, social media, and the list goes on. So you can come to us for all your design needs for whatever it is that you're wanting.
Nice part.
Nice, yeah.
Our ecosystem, look, we're part of the disability sector, the not-for-profit sector. We are a social enterprise, so we're in this sector as well. We always try and influence organisations to partner with us because we are a social enterprise and we have that impact into the sectors. We're on procurement panels. We have supply networks, including printers, that we liaise with for our design work. So we've very much got a wide network of ecosystems that we are part of. And like our waste, well, there's always paper, unfortunately. We do have that as part of our waste. And some of our unused, untapped talent in our design team that we wish we could showcase more as part of the design that we provide. But we are always constantly trying to get our talented designers' work out there, so we always strive to do that.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much. Great plug. Great plug. All right. On this table, who have we got? We got one person on this table who can speak in this group? Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Paige Rowett. I'm one of the directors at the Tourism Collective. So at the Tourism Collective, our vision is to enable tourism for a better future, and our mission is to, or what we do, is to try and nurture all levels of our tourism ecosystem to have positive impact outcomes for the people and places that they represent. So what we actually do is we do strategic planning, so a lot of listening, a lot of building of frameworks and that type of thing. And we also build capability, so sort of top-down, bottom-up approach to positive impact for our industry. Our assets. So I guess we've been doing it for about 12 years. And before that, we used to work in the Tourism Commission here, like a few of us, Beck's downstairs. And so we have really deep knowledge of the tourism ecosystem and also a lived experience of working in roles that our clients currently work in. We have many trusted relationships, and that's just through building those relationships year on year across Australia. And through that, so we've established really good shared value. And we also have really aligned values and empathy, and that's probably just through our experience and ongoing experience working with our clients. So in our ecosystem, our role mainly is as connectors, and we see that more and more, that we, there's lots of people that write strategies and build capability, but our superpower is to be able to connect the dots for people, and is particularly prevalent, I suppose, in building local impact and creating efficiencies at a local level, but also state and federal level too. And waste, a bit like Blend Creative, we have lots of amazing talent in our team, and so we have 3 directors. We work mostly full-time, even though we only want to be working part-time, but mostly full-time, but also we have 3 part-time staff who are incredibly talented, and we're always trying to find more work for them so they can live their talents and do what they love doing too. And possibly a little bit of paper printing waste that we could optimise, but we all work from home, so
Fantastic.
we're pretty lean in the waste sort of space. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you. Thank you. Just wonderful. Last group. Here we go.
G'day, I'm Brad. Our business is transmutation. So we keep plastic out of landfill and we put it back into a market. That's basically our purpose. We upcycle bread tags to homewares. We upcycle styrofoam into bowls. We recycle powder coating waste into pellets and products as well. Assets, knowledge of plastic materials, so the chemistry of that. I have a workshop, which is great. Access to the marketplace and knowledge of business and logistics. The ecosystem, any organisation in and part of the circular economy, any purpose-driven businesses, any social enterprise businesses, companies that reduce landfill, and we have a world solution to recycling powder coating waste, so any powder coating manufacturers out there as well. My waste, we do think about this pretty intensely. So with the bread tags, we sort of have nil. The bread tags is the first single use, if you like, but then we make them into bowls. Any overflow from the bowls we make into pens, and any overflow from all that we make into Lazy Susan. So we have a range of products that get rid of everything at the end. Cardboard packaging is probably the most thing that come out of our facility, which goes into recycling obviously, but it's still that's what a lot of our merchandising comes in. Soft plastic wrap, which is not much. That mainly comes from eBay. Anything we buy off that sort of thing, we're very careful about who we buy stuff off as well, obviously. And we're working on a solution for that in-house as well. And then metal, when I break stuff. So then the metal's got to go to the recycling yard as well. So.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So you can see that many of you share either ecosystems or assets. And so what we're going to do now is that the next part of this is I'm going to give you all a collaboration map. And while I'm doing that, I'd like you to think about whether you'd like to take, so the person who just told you about their organisation, because this is an activity, we're not going to do everybody's organisation today. If you're happy to take that person's organisation to do this exercise, then that would be great. And if not, if you can choose between yourselves which organisation you're going to choose for the next part of this activity, because this will take about 20 minutes. So just give that some thought while I explain what it is that we're going to do. Right here, I'll show you here. So the next part Okay, you have a quick discussion while I move through? Okay. All right. What we're now going to do is look at, so have you all chosen which organisation you're going to choose? Can I just check that I'm on? Can you, excuse me? Sorry, I can't see. Can you just, is that on? There is on. Okay, that's right. Yes, yes? Fantastic. Okay. So if you've all chosen the organisation that you're going to now work with, so what we'll now do is look at this challenge. So the challenge is looking now at the idea of kind of flipping what we've just talked about on its head. So if you've got waste, is there a way of making waste as a resource? Could we in some way collaborate if we look across our tables to turn waste into a resource? So what will happen is I'm going to give you these sheets in a moment, and you'll actually see, you'll do some discussion around which of these might be the best one for you to choose, but I'll just explain it to you up front. So the closed loop challenge is how might we collaborate to close the loop? So if we recognise that there is paper waste, and we have someone here who is recycling paper or cardboard waste, is there a way that we can come together? We close that loop. Waste as a resource, asset sharing. How could we work together to maximise the use of physical infrastructure or assets? Universities, schools are great examples of that. You know, how do we actually, again, close that loop, share those resources so that these, say, for instance, even these spaces that would be used during term for lectures can be used for something at another time. So the purpose of this is to actually find within your groups that waste, that ecosystem, and the assets that you have, and look at how you can collaboratively come together to use them in other ways. And feedback loops, how might we make use of each other's data to create a new service? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand out to each of your tables each of those four, and you'll find on these sheets, thank you, each of these sheets has one of those examples, so feedback loop, and then it has actually a case at the back of it. So the first part of this exercise is to read through these together and choose one that you'll use for this exercise. All right, choose one that you'll use. Does everyone have them there? Yep. All right, so we'll give you about 10 minutes to choose one. Oh, you can have you can make your own team now. Here you go. Here we go. Here and here. You could all three of you do it. So this is what you had to do in advance. Hold on. So you need to tell us in the first instance about your company. Do you want to join? Okay. No. Okay. All right. So your organisation. So tell us about your organisation, and then tell us about the assets that you have in your organisation, and we've got on the back some things to think about. Thank you. Who's your ecosystem? Who's part of your ecosystem? Yep. What waste you have and what assets you have. And so
our own individual businesses.
Your own organisations. Yes. Okay. Okay. Cool. All right. Good. All right. Yes. There you go. So is it all making sense? Yeah? Okay.
As an asset, bottles of soft drinks.
Once you've chosen the challenge, once you've chosen which challenge you're going to use for your particular activity, you have a collaboration map on the table as well. And now's the time for you to look across those cards and to start to put those cards together around that challenge. So I'll show you some, a bit of an example. So have a look.
Yeah, farm stay, farm experience, all that sort of stuff. And a lot of so we have always infection control. So there's no production waste. There's lots of power. There's no unutilized space. We are literally surface stock heat.
So can I just check?
Yes.
Talking about with your business is organic.
So that might be organic in terms of
That's why I was checking because it sounded like you were aiming for free range
quantitatively and then doing qualitative work together.
so the waste that I've
That's definitely, that's a big part of the whole discovery of the system. Converting opinions into something that's more
and we can found it other frozen mainly how
so that's a different type of data, and the is more than challenge to get.
Yeah, cool. All right. So you choose one of these challenges. So these are some example challenges. So, but if yeah, right. Yep, you can choose it. Okay, that's good.
There's a lot of packing now to put the plastics.
Nice. Nice. Love it. Love it.
Because I know when I was moving house, I had to go to 4 or 5 businesses to ask for boxes, and they flatten them before they even give you the chance to get to it. So you can't store the boxes. But what I'm saying is, if there was a supplier locally, anything a business that made their business to sell liquids,
not reused now. So pterocyte can like be crushed,
Okay. As you're developing these collaboration maps, try and think about what you're bringing together. So, are you bringing the waste together with the ecosystem? Because there's a narrative that's going to be created out of this about what this joint venture could look like. Yep. Okay. Does that make sense? Think about.
And then every week, your company is delivering more boxes when they could be taking empty boxes if they
Storytelling.
Oh, good.
Imagine potentially food being locally based, or I'm not sure. That would you get a situation where maybe the team were looking to market say South Australia, would you put designers on the ground, or how would you, or do you hire them? Maybe we could work
All right.
Yes, that's right.
So what you really need is a company that makes plastic to supply some of those.
We need, well, there is a concept.
And this company might need knowledge on what is a really great spot on those type of what size washing. It could be small market.
I'm actually thinking one thing that you can't is going to be cost.
Yes, yes.
Okay, well, we've got another last thing to do before we continue, before we get to the end of this one. What I need you to now do is on your collaboration map, pop all of the different cards that make sense based on what you've got there on there, because we'd like to photograph them at the end. And the next part is to have then a look visually. As designers in circular design, we like to see things. Have a look at them all together and think about, and it's really interesting, isn't it? This table's got mainly assets that they've got on the table. What have we got here? So putting your cards down on the table now to actually demonstrate and visualize what it is that you're talking about there. Cards on the table. Let's pop them all there. Oh, beautiful. Asset sharing. See, they've done asset sharing. Perfect. What about you guys? What's yours? Your challenge is waste as a resource, but interestingly, yours is also waste and ecosystem. So you're looking at as a collaboration. How are you guys going? We're going to do, because the next bit is, you now need to give it a name. I'm going to give you back. Here we go. Oh. Right, here we go. So your venture concept, here you go. This is your new venture concept. Oh. All right, here comes. Here we go. Oh, come on. Got to put your table cards on the table now. Cards on the table. Cards on the table, and then we're going to give it a name. We're going to tell us what this organisation does.
She's pretty well on top of things. She only had a couple of things that she wanted.
So we actually used a real example.
Yeah. So if you were looking at how you actually work with this team of people who have assets and ecosystem and waste, collaborate, have a look at that. Did I give one for you? Your new organisation, the one that's going to bring all of this together around one of these. The super org, the super organisation. All right. Did I give that to you? Oh, you've got your super organisation. Yep. So thinking about. So with this new venture concept that brings together your that uses one of those challenges. How are we going? So think about the challenges that you've got in front of you. Think about your resources, your waste, your assets, your ecosystem. How do they come together? What does this thing do? What does this new entity do? What's it called? Who's the customer? Who's the customer? How does it create value for people, for business, and for the planet? We're creating a new venture out of all of your resources right here, right now. It's very exciting. All right. Okay.
I just have a teenager.
Location-driven game after that.
We could go back and
So this is like.
then there's us with the other
Fantastic. That's fantastic. Yep. Can't do this. Yeah. That's it. Nice.
The boxes will be renewed out there with the skin at 3 o'clock every day. As opposed to people turning up.
Have you given yourselves a name? Have you given yourselves a name? Do you have an idea of what it is that you do? Who your customer is? What your value proposition looks like? How it creates value for business, for people, for other planet and the planet, and other planets too. That's fantastic. All right, very good. Just 2 more minutes. What does it do? What does this new enterprise do? Look at how quickly you've created a new enterprise. It's magnificent.
Then that would be a great job.
Truly magnificent. All right. How are we going? You'll notice that this part of it we're not doing today. These two. We're just not quite enough time. But we're just going to get this. We're going to get it down. Your name, what you do, and who your customer is. So we know it, and then I can see it. I want to actually be able to see it from your cards because we can photograph it, and it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Okay, look at you go. Alrighty. Okay.
So what we do is deliver farm-stay AR tourism.
Okay, we have 5 minutes before we end. So I'm going to ask if one person in each group can introduce us to your new enterprise. Who's going first? Come on, we only have 5 minutes. You've got 1 minute each. Let's go. Okay, everyone ready? Who's ready? You're going? I can see Karen, isn't it? It's Karen? It's Karen, isn't it? Yes. All right, Karen's ready to go with our new enterprise. Buongiorno. Okay, everybody? Okay, let's go.
We have called ourselves the Blended Group for Kids, and we are aiming to take school uniforms out of landfill once they've been used and reissue them to everywhere else. We're going to use blend for our design. We're going to use these lovely people for our research and teaching skills. We're going to set up a little cafe so that my friend here can do food safety, and the two of us are planning on finding the uniforms.
Hey! Well done. And so in doing that, what you've done is you've shared your assets.
Yes.
Yes.
Our assets being they're going to teach us how to do stuff.
That's fantastic. That's wonderful. Excellent. All right, here we go. Next one. Fantastic. That's wonderful, guys. Really wonderful. Hello. Yeah, no, we're good.
Our company our purpose is to connect people and place through art and cultural experiences. And what we do is deliver unique farm stay, augmented reality tourist and art lifestyle experiences.
Where do we walk?
All right.
No, we're calling it the Frilled Necked Dragon Gallery.
Wow. All right. Just quickly before you go, Patrick, which of your assets, which of the challenges did you choose?
We was asset sharing.
Asset sharing. So which of these assets are you sharing?
We're sharing the ability to design AR experiences, the ability to promote tourism experiences, the production of artworks, and the connection to farmers and farm experiences, and the ability to create marketing material that will
Excellent. That's fantastic. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Excellent. Right. Here we go. Last one. No, third one. Okay. 2 minutes. 1 minute. 1 minute. What are you called?
We haven't really thought of a name.
Okay, that's okay.
Cardboard Cafe.
Okay. Fantastic. No, you're good. It goes to there, yeah.
Yeah, so Cardboard Cafe, the idea is we're trying to reduce our cardboard usage in cafes. We're going to use a lot of our network, like transmutation, to be able to recycle perhaps into briquettes that people could use in fireplaces. We've got the York Cafe that we'll be getting the waste from and getting it recycled. We're going to use that to promote and create products that could be resold in the gallery that I work for. We could use artists, commission them for designs of products, as well as pushing product in the gallery space, and also work in collaboration with the transmutation company. They could also collaborate with their marketing too. The play on social enterprise as well could be a donation point for cardboard as well.
That's fantastic. And so, which of the challenges did you choose?
No idea.
Closed loop. Closed loop. Yep. And so you're making use of your waste. Yeah. And their ecosystem. Fantastic. Well done. Last one. All right. Here we go. Okay. Okay.
We started very late, so we did it very late and we were very quick. But sorry. So it's just Sharon and James and I.
It's okay. It's okay.
It is on? Oh, okay. So we decided to work on, our project is called Toothless.
Oh.
And we decided to work on reducing waste in the mobile dental services industry, which is where I work. So we looked at how we would collaborate with partners we already have, such as schools and aged care, to collect, medical type waste, things that are generally difficult because of infection control to eliminate from your system, but how we can collect them. And we would work, so things like gloves, masks, soft plastics that things are wrapped in, single-use instruments, etc. And we would work out back up with other groups that are trying to find use for these things as well, such as SA Health, SA Dental Service, and try and get together and collaborate on how we can get rid of our waste or treat our waste better and reuse it. So that was kind of
that's fantastic.
Where we got to.
So you're using your challenge is your waste as resource, yeah?
Yes.
And closing the loop.
Well, yes.
Yeah, that's fantastic. All right. In 50 minutes, you've been introduced to circular design and the idea of how you can bring your resources together. I hope that you take that away with you today to try and speak with your colleagues about how it's not that difficult to have these kinds of conversations and open the door for circular ventures. Cheers, everyone. Thank you.
Awesome work. Thanks, Angelina.
That's all right. No worries.
All right, everyone, before you get back into conversations, just another big round of applause to Angelina. Thank you so much.
And thank you to you, and thank you to James. Thank you, everyone. Lovely.